I felt sick. I felt sick to my stomach. I reported this, and I was made aware that it made it all the way up the chain of command by Doc Gary, and nothing happened. It was like his life was the same as it was the day before.
John Doe 1 recently came forward and revealed his identity. This courageous man's name is Kyle Beach. He speaks of being essayed by Blackhawks video coach Bradley Aldrich, who would go on to do the same to a minor in the state of Michigan. Our stories in Chicago with the Blackhawks, who were a dreadful franchise. As an original six, the club was the laughingstock while simultaneously hated throughout the city. Owner Bill Wirtz not only wouldn't spend money on players, he wouldn't televise games. When Bill passed, his son Rocky took over. Suddenly, the franchise boomed. They drafted well. Games were put on TV. Fans actually wanted to go to the United Center. In 2010, the Blackhawks began their run, winning 3 of the next 6 Stanley Cups. Therein lies the issue. Winning took precedent. Don't take my word for it. Take Jenner and Blocks, the law firm hired by the Blackhawks to conduct an independent investigation into Beach's claims. Over 107 pages, which I highly suggest you take a look at. They lay out their findings. John McDonough, then president, tabled it, but he would not act alone. The Jenner and Block report wrote McDonough said it was decided that the group would not alert human resources or do anything about the incident during the playoffs so as not to disturb team chemistry. On May 23rd of 2010, less than an hour after Chicago beat the San Jose Sharks to advance to the Stanley Cup Final, GM Stan Bowman, then President John McDonough, Blackhawks Senior Director of Hockey Administration Al McIsaac, then Executive VP Jay Blunk, and then Assistant GM Kevin Cheveldayoff, along with then head coach Joel Quenneville and mental skills coach and team counselor Jim Gary, met to discuss what had been learned about Aldrich and John Doe. At the time, Beach was 20 years old in the Hawks' minor league system. He was called up during the Cup run as a prospect player who could be available if the team needed. During the second week of May of 2010, Aldrich essayed Beach and threatened him, saying if he told anyone, Beach's career would be over and he wouldn't walk again. The Blackhawks let Aldrich quietly resign. He received a severance, a playoff bonus, continued to be a paid salary for several months. He was permitted to host the Stanley Cup for a day in his hometown. His name was engraved on the cup. He received a championship ring, and he attended a Stanley Cup banner-raising ceremony at the United Center. He went on to have paid and unpaid positions with USA Hockey, the University of Notre Dame, Miami University in Ohio, and Houghton High School in Houghton, Michigan, where he would conduct criminality with a minor. CBS Sports reported Aldrich assaulted 2 more at Miami, Ohio in the fall of 2012. He would resign from the school later that year. Joel Quenneville, the coach of those Stanley Cup winning teams, a hero in Chicago, claimed earlier this year he first learned of the allegations through the media. Beach said this is not accurate. Meetings took place in Quenneville's office with Gary and skills coach Paul Vincent after reporting what Aldrich did. After Aldrich left the club, Quenneville's final performance review of the Predator was nothing but positivity. Even after learning of these revelations, Quenneville buried it. Incredibly, he was allowed to coach the Panthers the other night, and now he has resigned from the Florida Panthers. Former mental skills coach Doc Gary, per Beach, told the ex-Hawks player that it was my fault because I put myself in that situation. There's no words to describe it, Beach added in his interview with TSN. NHLPA head Donald Fehr, a position he has held since 2010, also failed Beach. Per the report, he was contacted twice about allegations connected to Aldrich, including by a Beach confidant. Fehr told investigators he couldn't recall either conversation, but did not deny that they had occurred. But what about the players, you may ask? One unnamed player told The Athletic every guy on the team knew about it. Every single guy on the team knew. According to Beach, rather than helping him through that awful situation, his teammates had ridiculed him and targeted him with homophobic slurs. Only 2 former players have come out in support of this claim and in support of Beach, that being Brent Sopel and Nick Boynton, 2 members of the first Cup run. A lot of those guys who are on that team are still with the Hawks getting paid, and they're either still playing or in broadcasting or coaching, management, or scouting, or being an ambassador for the team, Sopel said. That's why they are not saying anything. Guys want to protect their jobs, but they should still be doing the right thing and telling the truth publicly about what happened. The captain, Jonathan Toews, gave a horrendous answer when asked about this.
To me, the Stan and Al, make any argument you want. They're not directly complicit in the activities that happen, regardless of the mistakes that may have been made for someone like Stan, who's done so much for the Blackhawks, and Al as well, to lose everything they care about and their livelihoods as well. It's just, I don't understand how that makes it go away.
Completely unacceptable. As someone who bought this man's jersey and consumed everything Blackhawks, looking at this man as a leader is something I will never do again. Bowman and McIsaac turned their back to SA. Toews making these comments defending this is preposterous behavior. Defending them as good men who did not report a fellow player being essayed is unequivocally wrong and inexcusable. What does it show to me? The continued hockey code of backing those when even in the most catastrophic of wrongs. Currently, only 2 players remain from that 2010 Cup team, Patrick Kane and Jonathan Toews. Those that covered up SA have their names etched in history on the Stanley Cup, right next to the name of the man they covered for, Bradley Aldrich.